So what did I do for 2 hours and 18 minutes? I studied the quizzes. I studied the part 2 of the midterm exam. And I studied the fraud problem that he discussed in class that one time. That's what I did. So it's a solid 2 hours of studying there. Nice. I also sent him an email asking him some stuff, so I asked him to allow me to see the answers for the part 1 of the midterm because they were not available, and I asked him to also post the PowerPoint for the business valuation thing because he actually had not posted it yet. So there was literally no way to study that at all. Like, really, it's like 3 days before the final test and you haven't even provided us with the materials needed. So I guess you could make the counter argument, well, he talked about it in class and he recorded the lecture, so you can just watch the lecture and watch that. Okay, still, it kind of sucks. Like, please, just give us the PowerPoint. I don't want to go back and watch the video of the lecture. I just want to study the PowerPoint. But anyways, I sent him that email. He said he would post that stuff by noon, and right now it's 11:28. He still hasn't posted it yet, but of course he has till noon because he said he was going to do it by noon. So, but while we're waiting, well, most of the time it's probably going to be spent in the vlog anyways. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do before or in between? Oh, so if I'm done with my vlog, I check and he still hasn't posted it, then what I'll do is start creating a study guide for myself. So basically I'm going to create a study guide that includes all of the ratios, and I'm also going to include any other random like mathematical stuff that needs to be known, or even just any conceptual, just literally anything I need to know for the tests that is nice to have on a study guide and that I can review. So, but it's gonna mostly be ratios on the study guide. It's gonna have ratios. It's gonna have how to create a cash flow statement with both the direct and indirect method. It might have some stuff about how to do LIFO. It might have some stuff about how to do like how to do depreciation, several methods of depreciation, which I don't even know is going to be on the test, which kind of sucks, but I'm doing as much as I possibly can before I even know what's going to be on the test. Like, I'm doing the best I possibly can to predict what could be on the test, and then just studying. It's basically like the approach, study everything. Like, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, just study everything. I mean, obviously if I was to study everything, I would just read through the entire textbook again, but there's no way I'm doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not reading that stinking textbook again. I'm just gonna, study. I'm studying the previous tests, studying the previous quizzes, studying all of the ratios, and whatever other information there is, like I mentioned, LIFO, FIFO, depreciation, cash flow statement, and I wonder what other things there could be. Basically just that stuff. Also, once he posts the business valuation PowerPoint, I can look at that. I'll study that. Should I take notes out? I don't even know what I would do. I would just read the PowerPoint, okay? Read the textbook. I didn't take notes when I read the textbook. I just read it. Like, man, how long would it freaking take if I decided I wanted to take notes from the textbook? I mean, maybe that would have been nice because then I could have studied my notes and hoped that helped me for the test. But, it takes way less time to just read it and then just hope I remember most of it. It kind of worked out, actually. If I just read it and then take the test and I remember like 80% of it, I'm pretty much good. Like, well, wouldn't that mean you get an 80% on your test? Well, actually, if you only about half the questions are conceptual questions. I think, and then the other half are like math questions. And if I study how to do the math questions, and then for conceptual questions, I read the textbook and I remember about 80% of what I read. But here's the thing. I selectively remember things that I think are important from the textbook as well. Like, usually if I'm reading a textbook, I'll try to select things that I think could be on the test, and I try to remember those. And other things I just don't bother. So usually my accuracy from that is actually not, it's actually a little bit better. It's probably more like 90%. So anyways. Also, Chris said he might get here by 1:30. So that means we have about 2 hours from this point in time until he's supposedly going to get here. That's not even a full session on OBS, because I consider 2.5 hours to be a full session until I take a break. Because of the fact that it often lags my computer after that amount of time. And also, it's just nice to have a break every 2.5 hours. Anyways. It's probably a blessing in disguise that Chris is actually getting here later in the day, because then I have more time to study. But yeah, I got a nice productive 2 hours done. I should be able to get about 2 more hours done. So, well, I don't know, maybe at 1 o'clock I'll just stop, and then like get things ready. Well, I mean, I could just literally wait. I could just do nothing in preparation for that, but we might be hanging out in my room, and I'd have to clear off a bunch of stuff off my desk if that was the case. That would take a bit of time. Or we might be hanging out downstairs. I don't even freaking know. Stop saying freak. So hilarious. How? Oh yeah, I was studying one of the test questions, and you know that thing where I didn't know the answer, and what you had to do was add receivables turnover, inventory turnover, and then subtract payables turnover. There were 2 questions like that on the test, and guess freaking. Okay, can I please stop saying freaking? I'm getting into a habit of that. Stop. Guess what? For one of the questions, as far as I can tell, he listed all of the possible answers. None of those answers was even the correct answer. I did the calculations the way I thought was correct, and I got 57, whereas the final answer was supposed to be 54. And then he didn't actually go over the solution to it when he was discussing the test, which sucks. He said, "Oh, I'm going to post the solution later." Oh, guess what? Guess what? He never posted it. Of course he did. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do anything he says he's going to do. So the one question I have no idea what's going on, he doesn't even explain how to do it. I thought I did it correctly. I got 57. The actual answer, I guess, was 54 point something. Oh my gosh. I looked, he literally showed how one of my classmates did the question, and I looked at it in detail. I literally spent like 30 minutes on that question, and it turns out, okay, so what she did was, instead of using cost of goods sold, she used cost of goods sold plus ending inventory minus beginning inventory. But guess what? That doesn't make any sense. Cost of goods sold equals purchases plus ending inventory minus beginning inventory. I don't know why you would use that. You would just use cost of goods sold by itself. I looked it up online. The answer is you use cost of goods sold. I don't know what is going on there. For payables turnover. But anyways. And then the other question I was confused about was the indicate which firm is it retail firm, which firm is a manufacturing, which firm is blah blah blah. And then yeah, so he explained that in the lecture. And well, basically, he had it written down as the answer, so I just took a snapshot of it, and I guess that'll be on the study guide as well. I don't know if that's gonna be on the final, but yeah. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else I can do here? Like, do I have to really flip through the entire textbook to look for more stuff to study? I don't know. Like basically just the ratios. I really, I highly doubt he's going to make us do the depreciation methods. I don't think I'm going to study that now that I think about it. Is he going to make us do the cash flow thing? Because we didn't have to do the cash flow thing, did we? Oh, guess what? We never had a quiz over chapter 9 and 10, so I'll never know. So I guess I do have to study the cash flow thing, because I did study that in quite a bit, and then we never even had a quiz over it. So I guess we do have to study the cash flow thing. And then the LIFO and FIFO, oh, of course I have to study that. But guess what? All of the questions about LIFO and FIFO were not actually doing a calculation with LIFO and FIFO. The questions were conceptual questions that were like, they were questions that were basically, how do I explain it? It was like, which ratios will be increased or decreased if they use LIFO or FIFO? Like that type of question. That is so confusing. So I'm gonna have to study that for sure. And what else? So the additional things other than ratios would be what? What else would it be? It would just be LIFO and FIFO, cash flow statements. Wasn't there one other thing? I can't really remember. Dang it. Well, if he just told us what that would be on the test, I wouldn't have to do all this stuff. Like, all of this is a waste of my time. Like, instead of having 2 hours of studying done, I could have done all that. I could have done an equally effective amount of studying in probably like half an hour. Like, this is wasting time. I wish he could just tell us what is going to be on the test. I had a professor who was way too nice in high school. He would literally give us a list of questions that would be on the test, except the questions on the test would be just slightly different, but they would be the same concepts. So like he would give us a list of math questions, and it would be the questions on the test would be the exact same, except the numbers would be slightly different. Like, man, why can't all professors be that nice? And also, he would give us that list of questions, but he wouldn't include every single one of them. He would only include a selection of them. But still, that's so much better than what we have to do for this class. This class, here's like the entirety of the hints for the test. There are going to be some basic ratios, earnings management, inventory management, fraud, business valuation. That's the test. That's what's gonna be on the test. That's literally the email he sent a few days ago. That's what why, dude? And it's not even like specific chapters of the textbook, it's specific subjects. Oh my gosh. Even if he was just like, it's gonna, anything from the textbook is fair game. Well, guess what? I would still prefer that to what he's doing now, because at least I know where I'm supposed to study this stuff. I mean, it would be a lot more studying because the textbook is chock full of stuff. There's so much information in the textbook, but at least I know what I'm supposed to study. For that, for what he's doing now, I don't even know what I'm supposed to study. I'm studying the previous tests and quizzes, studying the ratios, studying a few other extra things, and that's basically it. And then I'm going to use tomorrow's class as a tool to basically get a better idea of what's going to be on the test, and then based on that class, I will do more studying. But at least I'm making progress. Like at least I've done most of the studying from the past tests. I just have to study the part one of the midterm, and then study the PowerPoint. Oh yeah, I totally forgot the PowerPoint. Oh man. And the fraud problem, which I worked through, I know how to do that. Also, he said there's going to be test questions relating to our group projects. Oof. Well, he said he'd explain it more in class, so that's another thing I need to wait for. I guess I do feel a little bit better than I did this morning. Since I've already started the studying, like, starting is the hardest part, but then once you start and get a lot of stuff done, then you feel a lot better, even if you're not even completely done. Like, you can see how much effort I'm putting into this. Like, yeah, sure, I'm not reading the whole textbook. Sure, I'm not taking notes during our lectures, but you can see what the work I'm putting in here. I'm actually putting in a decent amount of work for this test. So measure that amount of work against the final grade I actually get on that test, and just see how incredibly frustrating this class is. Like, I think I put a comparable amount of effort into the last test, maybe a little bit less effort, and my final grade on the test was like 84%. Like, seriously, I had to work for that 84%. And I shouldn't have had it. By the way, this isn't completely unnecessary. I should not have to work that hard to get 84%. This is not that difficult of material that we're studying. It's about, maybe, it might be a little bit more difficult than the other accounting classes, but it's not that much more difficult. It might even be the same difficulty, honestly. Like, it should be about the same difficulty as the other two classes. The other two classes I got really good grades. The first one I got 95%. And that was with me barely even trying. Like the financial accounting class, I literally skipped an assignment and I still got 95%. Like, what the heck? And it was the same professor. The same professor. Like, so maybe you would think, oh, the professor's not the problem. Well, actually, unfortunately, no offense, but I think he is the problem, because it's partially him, partially the curriculum, because the curriculum was way better for the financial accounting class than it is for this class. But I mean, I don't know, because the level of difficulty, so this curriculum is a little bit harder, but then the professor is not helping at all. He's literally not helping in terms of that difficulty. He's just making it more difficult. Whereas with the financial accounting thing, the professor didn't help or hurt. He just was kind of neutral. Whereas now he's kind of, I don't know. He's actually hurting because of the way he's making the tests. That's the main issue. The way he's making these tests is completely unfair. Like, the first test had a bunch of questions that were not even from the first 7 chapters. We were supposed to just take a test over chapters 1 through 7. He had so many questions that were not from the chapters. They were from later chapters, and there were some questions that were not even from the textbook. But the advantage I have is that I'm actually studying that test that it gave us. That was unfair. And since it's a cumulative test, at least like half the material should be from the first test, right? I don't know. And for the second test, we literally just read chapters 8, 9, and 10. I guess I should probably review chapter 8 because that was a while ago. Oh my gosh. We haven't had a quiz over those. We literally have not had a quiz. Oh, actually we did. We had a homework assignment. No, we did actually. Never mind. We did have a quiz over chapter 8, and I studied that, so we're good there. The quiz over chapter 8 was actually just calculate ratios, so that didn't really help that much because I could just study the ratios. Okay. Concepts. Chapter 8. Like I'm probably gonna get some conceptual questions wrong because I'm not really studying the concepts as much. I'm more focused on studying the math stuff. But the only way to really prepare for the conceptual questions is to read the textbook again. I don't want to read it again. I mean, I guess I could skim it over and look for stuff that might be on the test. I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't want to do that. I mean, honestly, the more effort I put in here, the better of a score I'm going to get. It's that simple. Like, even if the longer I study, the less time efficient the studying is, it's still going to increase my chances. Oh, and by the way, half the test is going to be open book, so I don't even know if all the studying is that necessary. I mean, I guess since it's going to be a time limit test, the open book part has a time limit, so that is one reason to study. But then again, it's like that's actually a very nice thing, at least. Like, I'm not completely screwed over. Like, the only part I could get screwed over in is well, guess what? I was screwed over in the take-home exam for the first exam because there were so many questions that were not from the textbook. You know what's funny? So on the take-home exam 1, so I calculated earnings per share for one question, and for some random reason, I have no idea why, I expressed it as a percentage, and he took off a point for that. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that was a justified taking off of 1 point, because I got the right answer, I just expressed it as a percentage, when you're supposed to express it just as a number. But anyways, and then for one question, that was a ratio, I completely screwed up and did something incorrectly. Which question was that? It was like inventory turnover. Or no, it was actually acid test ratio. I accidentally messed up and divided it by total current assets instead of total current liabilities, which was stupid. Why did I do that? And then the other question I was so confused on was like the question about look at the financial statements and determine which one is a retail firm, which one is a manufacturing firm, and which one is a service firm. And the textbook had barely anything to say about that, so thankfully I got 7 out of 8 points for it, but that was kind of an unfair question to me. I don't know. Maybe did he talk about it in class at some point? Who knows? I wasn't really expecting that typically. Like, no, actually, I thought I knew that stuff. Like, the only thing you really look at. No, actually, I don't know, because the textbook really didn't say much at all. Like, when you read it and you actually think about it, like, the textbook said barely, like, basically nothing. It was like, oh, sometimes retail firms have high receivables, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have high, well, sometimes this. Like, wait, that doesn't help at all. You're just saying that could apply to literally anything. That doesn't narrow anything down. Wait. Like, the only definite statement the book made was, oh, inventory is low for service firms. That was the only thing that you could really glean from the textbook. Okay, stop. It's almost noon. Time to post stuff. So basically, after this vlog, I'm going to make photocopies of the ratios. And then I'm going to, what else? Besides ratios, what else do I need? Cash flow thingy. I guess what, I really don't want to do this, but I don't want to skim it over for conceptual stuff though. Oh yeah, duh, I'm stupid. I was gonna study the stuff my professor was going to post at noon or before noon. But if he doesn't do that, then I'll have to do other stuff. Alright. Yay. Starting now, we. And not to mention that we have to study for the human resource final. We have to do our final drafts of our 2 group projects, and we have to do the course reflection for human resource management. I mean, that's not that much stuff, I guess, but how much work are we gonna even do on the final draft? How much work are we gonna do? What are they gonna want me to do? Everything's due Friday. You know what I really hate? Why do they have to make us take the exam on Friday? Why can't... Okay, so the human resource exam at least. Why can't we just take that exam whenever we want? Because I would have taken it way earlier. And then... I don't know, would I have done that? I'm not sure. It would have been nice to have the option so that if I get it all over with at once, then I could just spend the rest of my time studying for the financial statements. And the group project. The main advantage of that would be that then I could spend all Friday on financial statement exam and the group project. What is this? Over. Oh, it'll be over Friday night. I wonder if I'm gonna stay up all the way till like midnight on Friday working on stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's not that bad if I do, because it's literally the last day of the not only the semester, but maybe even my entire college career. Technically, I still have a 2-year degree. Oh, wow. I have a degree still. I still have. But I only have a community college degree. I took 1 year of classes at a 4-year college. And I took 2 years of classes at a 2-year college. I have 3/4 of a 4-year degree. How much time? 30. I don't know if me and Chris have ever hung out in this room when it was really hot, because yeah, like the last time we did that was, when was the last time? Well, the last time he actually came to visit from, he lives in Calcium, New York. That was last Thanksgiving, I think, or Christmas. It was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. And when he came over, did we hang out downstairs or up here? I can't remember. Why am I too? Okay. Stop. I wonder if I can get an A in this class. Oh, can I get an A? I mean, I want to, but it seems very unlikely. It seems to be very unlikely that I can get an A in financial state analysis. If I got 100%, I feel like calculating this based on the syllabus. Oh, well, these points are totally not correct at all. The syllabus has a total of okay. Like, why is his points all screwed up here? If I take the syllabus strictly at its word, then what would my grade be if I... Okay, so basically, right now, like, if you take it strictly as the amount of points that I currently have, which is 121.85, I don't think this is going to be accurate, because the number of possible points... Wait! This is financial accounting, you idiot. Come on. Where's the syllabus? Come on. Where's the syllabus? Largy. A is 94. A minus 90. B plus 85 to 89. Huh. Nice. Very, very nice. Okay, anyways. Strictly based on this, let's just assume we've had all of our quizzes. The only thing missing is our tests and group projects, right? The last test. So basically, if you take it strictly as this, what is my grade? Okay, so it's 450 minus 80 minus 100. And yeah, this is totally incorrect because it says that my grade would be 45%. Yeah, obviously that's not right. But, are we going to assume that the test is going to be worth 100 points? Because that's what the first one was worth, so let's just assume that. Now, he says that this co-research project in Excel CoStats is worth 44 and 36. So let's just assume that's going to be the final score graded on that. So currently my grade is 87%. What happens if I get 100% on both the group projects and the final exam? Well, it will be 139.01 plus 44 plus 36 plus 100, and then it will be 121.85 plus 44 plus 36 plus 100. So 301.85. Okay, moment of truth. This is the best possible grade I can get in this class according to my calculations. The best possible grade I can get in this class is 94.6. I still technically have the ability to get an A. That's so funny. I could still technically get an A if I get 100% on everything. Let's say that I get 80% on both of them. What would happen then? So basically, well, let's say I get 80% on the group research project for everything. Okay, 0.8 times 44, 0.8 times 36, and 0.8 times 100. So basically, my grade would be 121.85 plus this, plus this, plus this, and it would be this divided by 319.1. Okay, here's the grade I would get in this class if I got 80% on every single assignment that was left. My grade in the class would be 83%. So that's not good. What would my grade in the class, if I got 83%, my grade in the class would be a B. B. So 83 is equal to B. 80 to 83 is 84, actually, is a B. So, like, yeah. Ugh. Okay, what's the minimum requirement for getting 90%? The minimum requirement for getting 90% is 0.9 times 319.01. So 287.109 minus. I need to get at least 165.259 to get 90% in the class. So what happens if I get 90% on everything that's left? 0.44. 44 times 0.9 plus 36 times 0.9 plus 90. Guess what? Okay, here's the thing. I just calculated that if I got 90% on both group projects and 90% on the final test, I would consider that to be solid, by the way. I would consider that to be solid. Guess what? That's still not enough to get an A in the class. Or an A minus, actually. A minus. To get an A minus in this class, I have to do a little bit better than that. I have to get 90 on everything, and then I have to get at least 4 more points on any one of the other things I listed. So basically, if I get like 91%, I'll probably be fine, right? I don't know. 44 times 0.91 plus 36 times 0.91 plus 91. Nope, I have to get 92% probably. No, I probably 93%. 44 times 0.93 plus 36 times 0.93 plus 93. Oh crap, is it 92?
Oh, I can get 92%. Okay, so basically I have to get 92% on everything that's left to get an A minus. Dang it, the vlog's almost done. No. How long does it go? Is it 43 minutes? Bye.